Hello everyone! As mentioned in my Klee guide, she has some internal anti-synergy in her skill kit, so I decided to make a follow-up with this theme in mind. In the first half, I want to go into what's wrong with Klee, then in the second half, I want to give my suggestion on how to fix her, and even make her a little more interesting, I'd say. Though I don't think there's a realistic chance that the devs will ever actually go back to work on this character. It's just for entertainment. What's wrong? Klee is a pyro character who exclusively deals pyro damage, so you are strongly incentivized to use elemental reactions with pyro. We can ignore crystallize, overload, and swirl. There are no mechanical complications here. The main problem with Klee is melt and vaporize. I don't want to make this a guide on elemental reactions though, but let me give you a rough idea on how the meta around that system is established. We have two different types of characters for this. The first one who enables elemental reactions with a high elemental application rate, and the second one who triggers elemental reactions with a low elemental application rate. The character who triggers the reaction also determines the amount of damage dealt. So in other words, the element that quickly gets applied to the enemy over and over again is not the one doing damage, but the slower one who reacts with that applied element is the one dealing damage with elemental reactions. Melt and Vaporize don't deal damage on their own, but they increase the damage of the skill that triggers the elemental reaction. It is 100% bonus damage, so it's very good with high damage skills. If you do 10,000 damage, Melt and Vaporize will increase it to 20,000 damage, or potentially 15,000, but don't worry about that here. The problem with Klee is she has very hard-hitting charge attacks which you want to use for Vaporize and Melt. But she also has a lot of pyro application on her elemental skill and burst skill, which basically force her into the role of a character who enables elemental reactions, not a character triggering them. That's the anti-synergy. To be consistent with Melt or Vaporize, you can use Klee's charged attacks without using her skills, which is obviously bad, or you can use your skills to enable your sub-DPS characters, but then you're not making the most of Klee's strong charged attacks. It's a lose-lose situation. Now for my suggestion. I think it would be great for Klee to ditch the whole melt and vaporize idea. We already have Yanfei who does that infinitely better. So I'd like to see Klee go all out on pyro application, which means her elemental skill and burst skill can stay the same. The normal and charge attacks, as well as her first passive skill, need to be reworked for this though. I think Klee actually has already a nice and unique mechanic which wasn't utilized to its full potential. Her elemental skill leaves behind these small bombs, which can actually be sucked in by Anemo characters, so there is some interesting synergy and gameplay already there. What I would like to see is replace Klee's third normal attack to throwing like 1 or 2 of these small bombs, replace Klee's charged attacks to throwing like 2 or 3 of these small bombs. For the passive skill, you can keep the stamina reduction for charge attacks, but for the second part, make it if you consume the spark, Klee's elemental skill cooldown gets reduced by a few seconds. So I would like her to be all about generating these bombs and having high pyro application to enable elemental reactions with your sub-DPS characters. Alright, that's it. I hope this was somewhat interesting. Let me hear your ideas for and opinions on Klee. Stay tuned for more videos. Until then, have fun and bye bye!